Hi, welcome back. I'm Morgan Martin.
And I'm at Maya.
Welcome to video 2. Today we're going to tell you all about the science experiment competition.
Hey Morgan, real quick, before we do that, I have a science joke. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
All right. So why does a burger have less energy than a steak?
I don't know, Matt. Why?
Because a burger's in its ground state. Get it?
Yes. Oh boy.
Do you know any good jokes?
So, I heard that oxygen and magnesium are going out, and I was like, OMG.
OMG.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah, oxygen and magnesium. OMG.
Right.
OMG.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, folks. So here we go. We're going to talk all about how to do your science experiment in video number 2. All right. So on this slide, you're going to put your project title. Here's where you come up with a catchy name for your project. So get creative, have fun. Don't forget this is a contest for cash. And don't forget to include the names of all students involved in the project with their grade levels and then the name of your school.
On this slide, you are going to present your abstract. The abstract is a summary of your science fair project. Your abstract is made up of a brief statement of the essential or most important thoughts of your project. Abstracts should summarize clearly and simply the main points of the experiment. Spelling, grammar, punctuation, and originality are important. It should be 250 to 300 words in length. Be sure to complete this at the very end of your science fair project. As you can see here, the judging rubric will score this section with 1 point if it includes all of the needed components.
All right, so this slide is all about your purpose statement. The purpose of your project is what it is you are trying to discover or prove. It should be written in the form of a statement that is original and creative. The statement should clearly explain the investigative question that you are trying to answer with your experiment, why you wanted to do this experiment, and how you think the information gained from the experiment will help other people. The example that we will be using for this tutorial is an experiment based on how rock candy is created. The investigative question here is, will the addition of an impurity, such as food coloring, affect the growth of sugar crystals? And here we have the rubric for this slide. This slide is worth 4 points.
On this slide, you're going to present the background research. Excellent research uses several reliable sources and helps to shape the project. Research should include information about the science concepts related to the project. Research also should include information about investigations that other people have done that help to inform your project. You need to have various sources, and you might choose to use websites, articles, or textbooks. You would include all of this in this section. For our sample project on rock candy, the background research would include researching what are crystals and how do they grow. This part of the project is worth 2 points.
So this slide is for your hypothesis. The hypothesis is an educated guess that tries to answer a question or solve a problem that you are trying to find out more about. The hypothesis is devised after you do your research on a specific topic and before you do any experimenting. A hypothesis is a statement that predicts the outcome of the experimental study. Your experiment will then test your specific hypothesis for validity. So here's where you're also defining your variables. Don't forget to include your units. For your independent variable, this is what you are changing as a scientist. Your dependent variable is what you are measuring in the outcome of your experiment. And then you're going to have controlled variables, and this is what you're keeping the same throughout each of your trials. In our sample experiment, the independent variable that we would be changing is the different types of food colorings we are testing, such as blue, red, and yellow. The dependent variable would be the growth of the crystals that we are measuring by mass in grams. Some controlled variables would be the amount of food coloring used in milliliters, the amount of light exposure, and the temperature of the system we are studying, for a total of 9 points.
On this slide is where you're going to detail your experimental procedures and materials. The material list should follow these rules. You need to specify each material used and the amount of each material used. The procedures should be clearly written so that anyone could repeat your procedures and get the same results. The procedures should follow these rules. Number 1, label each step with a number or letter. 2, write your procedures in a cookbook format. Number 3, be very specific with quantities and the order that things were done or completed. And finally, 4, don't forget to mention how many times you are planning to repeat the procedure. As you can see, the experimental procedures and materials slide is going to be worth a total of 6 points.
All right, here's a slide that's all about your experimental results. This is where you're going to show all the data that you collected. You need to determine what measurements and observations you will record. Set up data tables to record your data and observations. Results should include quantitative and qualitative observations. You're going to use text to explain and guide the reader through your key results. For example, the information that helps answer the hypothesis you investigated. Use the tables and charts to help strengthen and explain what you are stating in your text. Your results section should describe and report what you discovered and is to be objectively presented without interpretation. What patterns, trends, and relationships can you identify in your data? What do these patterns, trends, and relationships mean? You should have data for multiple trials. And remember, you are not interpreting your results in this section. The total points for your results slide are 6 points.
On this slide, you're going to analyze your experimental results. This section will include your objective and unbiased analysis and interpretation of your experimental results. In other words, after you collected your data and made your observations, what did you learn? How did these results help you respond to your hypothesis? And don't forget to discuss possible experimental errors. You need to interpret your data. Compare your data to your original goal for the investigation. Does the data address your goals? Does the data match what you thought would happen? Discuss any unexpected results or errors and revisions to your investigation plan that would generate more accurate data. And explain what the data means. This section is going to be worth a total of 6 points.
All right, now we're at your conclusion slide. A conclusion is a re-examination of your original hypothesis in regards to the data that you've collected. It describes how your results prove or disprove your hypothesis. Remember to restate your hypothesis here. Reflect on your learning. What did you learn from this project? How could your results help someone? What were some issues that came up during the project and how did you address them? You're also going to consider what comes next. What questions came up during the investigation that you would like to investigate further? What new investigations would help you understand your results a little bit better? This results section is also worth 6 points.
On this second to last slide, this is where you're going to thank everyone that has given you help with the project. If you received any significant help in your project, you need to make sure that you are giving them credit and acknowledging them for their help and service or material provided. You never know if you might need their help again in the future, and thanking them is one way of possibly receiving their help again.
So this will be your last slide that you're submitting. It's the bibliography and sources. Be sure to cite all articles, videos, websites, and anything else that you use to help you with your project, and make sure that you do it in MLA format. This slide is worth a total of 1 point.
I hope you guys have enjoyed our science fair project video, and stay tuned for video number 4. This is where you're going to learn how to submit all of your results and actually enter our competition.
Bye.
Bye.